Charities running care homes have reacted furiously after the Prime Minister said too many care homes didn't really follow procedures during the coronavirus pandemic. They've accused Boris Johnson of insulting those in the sector. A number of government ministers have said what he meant was that no one knew what the correct plan of action was at the start of the crisis. Labour has called for an apology and for what it said were crass remarks. Our social affairs correspondent Alison Holt reports.
This was the reality for St Ives Lodge Care Home on April the 15th, the day the government set out its support plan for care homes. They'd already lost 6 residents. At that point, COVID-19 outbreaks in residential and nursing homes had peaked and thousands of lives were being lost. Getting PPE was a struggle, testing for care staff was only introduced that day, and government help felt too little, too late.
For the last 3 weeks, we've been like a little mini hospital where we've been dealing with end-of-life patients. It's been so awful. I mean, it's awful. It's just surreal. It really is.
Against that backdrop, these comments from the Prime Minister have caused outrage.
We discovered too many care homes didn't really follow the procedures in the way that they could have, but we're learning lessons the whole time.
I think at best he was clumsy and cowardly by effectively picking on a sector that the vast majority of these fantastic frontline care workers are on minimum wage, many without sick pay, and for him to kind of brush over the government's failings and to blame the social care sector was, as I say, at best clumsy.
The care sector maintains it was forgotten at the start of the pandemic. In the first month, patients were discharged from hospitals to care homes without tests. Even council officials described distribution of protective equipment to homes as shambolic and government guidance as contradictory. In the Commons today, it was down to the Health and Social Care Secretary to clarify Boris Johnson's comments.
Throughout this crisis, care homes have done amazing work. And the Prime Minister was explaining that because asymptomatic transmission was not known about, the correct procedures were therefore not known, and we've been constantly learning about this virus from the start.
Many care staff have been left deeply traumatised by what they've experienced in recent months, and there's a fear that history is being rewritten. But there's also anger that here at Westminster, politicians knew long before the pandemic that the care sector was underfunded, overstretched and in crisis. Inevitably, the virus will have exposed homes where there were problems, but it's also underlined the difficulties of a complicated, fragmented care system, one which the government has promised to reform. Alison Holt, BBC News.